SHAZAM! With the utterance of a single word, Billy Batson is bestowed with the amazing powers of Captin Marvel. Oh wait, we can't call him that anymore, so we'll just call him SHAZAM, even though in my heart he will always be Captin Marvel. Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday, it is 10 o'clock. It is the 22nd day of June 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGN. Support me, Legion of Myth, because I'm trying to buy your shirt, but the computer won't let me. And you might be wondering why there's a picture of Billy Batson, the big red cheese, up on here today, and I will tell you. But first, content warning, I will be addressing the current rigmarole that is the resurrection of TSR, and I may be saying some less than flattering things about 5th edition D&D and TSR, so if that is something that triggers you, please stop watching now. And remember, my content is not appropriate for anyone. So hello, this is, as you may or may not know, Billy Batson, a.k.a. Captin Marvel, a.k.a. SHAZAM, Earth's most powerful mortal, bestowed by the wizard SHAZAM with the powers of the ancient gods to be a champion of truth, justice, and blah, blah, blah. Captin Marvel originally appeared in Fawcett Comics, but since then he has had a rather rocky road. Now, you might be wondering why the big red cheese is up on the screen, and that is because we are going to be talking a lot about the whole TSR thing, and you may hear me reference the whole Captin Marvel thing in reference to the whole, what does the name really mean? And I figured I'm going to have to explain the Captin Marvel thing and why I'm using it as a reference, even though it may or may not actually be directly to this. But I know I'm going to say it, so I better explain it. So, to understand the Captin Marvel thing and what that means is to understand the rather bizarre story regarding the name Captin Marvel. So, Billy Batson Captin Marvel originally appears in Fawcett Comics. Fawcett Comics gets into a legal thing with DC Comics because DC claims Billy is a ripoff of Superman. And, you know, they basically have the same powers, so... yeah, and I mean, but come on, there were several other ripoffs of Superman. But for some reason, DC chose this one. Now, this cannot be confirmed 100%, but it is 85% confirmed that the reason why DC went after this particular character is that there was a point in time when Captin Marvel and the Marvel family was selling more than Superman comics, and DC didn't like that. So... rather than get involved in a long, drawn-out legal thing that they figured they were probably going to lose anything, Fawcett Comics allowed themselves to be bought up by DC, selling all the licenses and rights and likenesses and characters and stories. Except, at the exact same time, or around the same time, a character appeared in Marvel Comics called Marvel, or Captin Marvel. Which, when you think about it, goes without saying that Marvel should have a character named something Marvel because they're Marvel Comics. I mean, that just seems like a no-brainer. Like, really, literally, your first character should have been Mr. Marvel or Captain Marvel, not the Fantastic Four. Not that I don't love the Fantastic Four, but I mean, if you're going to name your comic book company Marvel, it just seems totally logical that there at least should be one character in that name because it's just an awesome name. So there was some confusion over who had the rights to Captin Marvel, the name Captin Marvel, because DC had Captin Marvel and Marvel had Marvel Captin Marvel, the Kree warrior who we all know and love. So the name sort of fell into that weird nebulous place that is the world of trademarks and copyrights and who does own this. Rather than get into a long, drawn-out legal battle with Marvel, DC eventually just renamed the character in 1972 SHAZAM. But, and this is how we get what this has to do with TSR, in order to maintain the copyright, Captin Marvel, Marvel has to always have at least one character in print named Captin Marvel. Which is why there has been so many Captin Marvels and Mrs. Marvels throughout the history of Marvel Comics, leading us, of course, up to today with Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, who is Miss Marvel, and what's her name? The one who's Photon, also Captain Marvel. She was the one in the movie whose daughter was in WandaVision, and for some reason I can't remember her name, but you know who I mean. Monica. Yes, Monica. Monica and her daughter are also known as Captain Marvel and or Photon. So at any point in time, since the time that they introduced the first Marvel, the Kree Warrior, who, the original and still, they've always had to have a Captain Marvel character in print in order to retain the name, which is why there's been so many, and some of which are really weird and strange. Like, why is that character named Captain Marvel? Their powers has nothing to do with the guy from Kree. Is like, because we have to keep the name in print in some way. Long story short, I know this has already gone too long. I'm going to refer to the Captain Marvel thing in regards to the TSR thing, because I think part of the reason why TSR is calling themselves TSR, even if they don't do anything, shape, or form that is associated with the image that we think TSR represents, is because they need the name. Because we already know there is some legal contention over the name TSR. Gary Gygax's wife has a company called TSR. TSR that just got formed, which is TSR, technically TSR Games. But there are other companies out there that have also gobbled up the name TSR, like TSR Concrete, the number one seller of concrete flooring in the Midwest. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that one. You know I am. So going forward, no matter what else, somewhere in the back of our mind, we have to wonder, is the only reason they named their company TSR is to be able to use the name TSR. And that's kind of like the Captain Marvel thing. The only reason why there's always a Captain Marvel character somewhere in print in the Marvel Universe, no matter how obscure or ridiculous they might be, is because in order to keep the name Captain Marvel, Marvel has to constantly have a Captain Marvel in print. Is this the same thing with TSR? Now, we're going to talk about TSR a lot. We're going to talk about positive things, negative things. There's already a whole bunch of stuff. But I know I'm going to refer to the Captain Marvel thing, so I figured I better explain it the best I can, and I'm probably not doing the whole thing justice, but basically, legal, DC, Marvel, who has the rights to the name? Oh, Marvel has the rights to the name as long as they keep using the name. Should they ever stop using the name, DC gets to use the name again, or whoever gets it, But then Billy could finally be called Captain Marvel. Though really, they would resolve all this if they just referred to Billy as Captain Thunder, like he was in the Elseworlds, because that name makes way more sense. But yeah, if Marvel's going to have a character, it should be something Marvel. Captain Marvel, Mrs. Marvel, Mr. Marvel, The Marvels. I mean, you're Marvel Comics. It just sort of fits. Please feel free to comment down below and let me know what I got wrong. If you appreciate this content, please subscribe, please thumbs up, please share, please support me with the Ko-Fi, please buy me a sandwich. Till next time, have a great day, stay hydrated, stay warm, stay off my land. I will talk to you later, Steve.